Welcome back to the Who's Yanks. Bienvenue à the Who's Yanks. We're talking Canada soccer and US soccer. And seriously, welcome back, guys. This is the first reaction recap review video since I've done, and I can't remember when. As you probably noticed that this is, there's been a couple other filler videos. Me playing Euro Cup soccer. That's kind of filler games in between topics to talk about. And I hope you guys have been enjoying that. By the way, I forgot to mention the plan is to play with eventually each country, win or lose, just to get everybody a fair share at that, and just to have fun with that, and just give you guys just more fun things to watch. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So I know the game does lag at times, but I hope it is enjoyable to an extent. In between just games and really concepts to talk about. And yeah, so before we talk about the U.S. Open Cup MLS review on the round of 16 games of day one, or technically day three of the whole tournament, but the first half of what's going to be also tomorrow's half, and then keep in mind on Thursday I am going to be doing a recap on the draw, so keep in mind, and hopefully I'll get my wish this time on MLS versus or more regional rivalry matchups. As I was kind of bummed out by the round of 16 draw, or the round of 32 draw, but hey, maybe I'll get it on the round of 16 draw coming up. But yeah, but anyways, welcome back, and as I said, I hope you guys have been enjoying the other videos I've been posting. Rumor has it that there's a Canadian rumor going around with a new coach or head coach kind of situation there, and depending on how interesting it is, I'll do a video on it maybe. We'll see if I live up to it. If not, I mean, just stay tuned for that, and we'll see if it'll shake out. But today, nonetheless, is all about the Open Cup review on MLS teams, and we had out of day one, or half one of the other half, which is tomorrow, we had 5 games to talk about. There were 6 games, 5 of them were MLS teams were involved, and out of the 5 games that were involved, only one of those were interleague USL versus MLS play. The others were just MLS on MLS action, so typical midweek games as they can just be played off of. But we'll talk about anything MLS here, so we'll talk about Inter Miami and Tormenta, which was the lone interleague game for this day one, or half day of the round of 32 game matchups of the U.S. Open Cup. But we'll also talk about the other MLS action leagues going around. And yeah, I mean, today I'm pretty pleased because, one, I'm going to talk more about this later, but it keeps most of the teams that I wanted to win did win, as it keeps my hopes alive for regional rivalries and the tastiest MLS rivalries that everybody wants to see. And the same as I was bummed out on not seeing after the draw. But yeah, I mean, without further ado, let me go ahead and just get started talking about this, shall we? So the first game that happened today, and keep in mind, I am going to use the same stuff as I was full watched, half watched, or didn't watch at all. I don't think there were any games I didn't watch at all. So either they were full watched or half watched. And this one, Orlando City, Philadelphia, this one was full watched, and it was 2-1. Orlando City will advance to and put their name in the round of 16 draw. So that's also something I should mention. Just because you advance does not mean that we are going to be guaranteed a regional rivalry matchup. It's unfortunate, but hey, I don't make the rules. It's just the way it's formatted. But their name, nonetheless, will be put into a draw. Orlando City, congratulations. Taking out the Philadelphia Union, by the way, who had a bye coming into this. And Orlando City hosted it, though. But Orlando City takes down one of the arguably, possibly the favorites. You have Cara and Pereira scoring really 2 goals in the span of 3 minutes. By the way, Pereira with that long shot outside the box goal. What a shot from him. That was good. But then Finley coming off for the 77th minute for Philadelphia Union off of a set piece and tries to pull one back. Philadelphia does have a late surge at the end, but it's not enough. And nonetheless, Orlando City escapes and advances to the round of 16. Hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, I will get the match that I want, as well as many other people want. The Florida Derby, Inter Miami versus Orlando, or Orlando versus Inter Miami. It could, or hey, it could be Orlando and Atlanta, but I think it might be Inter Miami and Orlando. I don't know. Once again, I don't know how they all shape this out. It's a draw and it's all randomized. So once again, we could not be gifted with our regional rivalries. I mean, that's the thing. It hurts, but there's nothing I can do about it, and besides just pay attention to these concepts. But it's once again with a draw. I mean, if they put Orlando City, Inter Miami, Atlanta, if they advance tomorrow, and Charlotte, if they advance tomorrow, we could put the whole Southeast in their own box. So we could even have Inter Miami versus Charlotte, and we'd still probably be guaranteed one rivalry between Orlando and Atlanta. But then again, the two rivalries I really want to see, as well as probably the league, will be Atlanta and Charlotte. Though we've already seen two games, which both were really good this year, and as well as Orlando and Inter Miami. Those are the two regional matchups I want to see. I mean, Nashville and Atlanta. By the way, that's a two-player model. We do get one regional rivalry, but in MLS, it is now Nashville in the West versus Atlanta in the East. Rather than Nashville was in the East, but then they moved to the West. So it's still a regional rivalry, but that's one of the only regional rivalries we've been treated to this whole round of 32. But hey, what else can you do? Nonetheless, going back to the script, Orlando City does take this win over Philadelphia Union, and they will advance and continue their run in their U.S. Open Cup journey. And kudos to Orlando City for taking down the Philadelphia Union. On to the next one. How about this one? DC United gets routed by the New York Red Bulls in their home stadium, 3-0. And this one I joined late because I was focused on Orlando City and Inter Miami. This one was going on at the same time. I can't pronounce this guy's name, so sorry if I butcher it. Luquianis scores one of the goals. Tolkien scores the other, and Ryan scores another for the Red Bulls. I did manage to join in late, right when the Red Bulls scored the 68-minute goal. But after that, there's pretty much nothing else happened. And this is a regional rivalry. So here we go. We're talking about rivalries. Here's one. Although it was one-sided. New York Red Bulls took DC United to school today. And New York Red Bulls, once again, this is one of the teams I wanted to personally win because I want to see the Hudson River Derby. I really, really want to see that New York City versus New York Red Bulls rivalry matchup in the U.S. Open Cup. But once again, tomorrow, New York City has to beat Rochester for that to happen, which, even though, upsets happen, so we just got to wait and see. And we'll find out tomorrow when I recap that too, whether we'll possibly still be on the line for a Hudson River Derby. But nonetheless, New York Red Bulls does get the win over DC United and the I-95 Atlantic Cup, one of them. And this was an interesting rivalry, but it was, as I said, one-sided. And New York Red Bulls does punch their ticket to the round of 16. And their name will also go in the draw. As I said, hopefully, there's New York Red Bulls versus NYCFC. But once again, tomorrow, you got Cincy and New York, England, New England Revolution. If New England Revolution beats Cincy, we could still have another rivalry between New England and New York Red Bulls, another I-95 rivalry, or New York England versus New York City. So, as I said, we're not guaranteed a regional rivalry, despite how simple or how given it should seem. But we'll just have to see how that all plays out because the draw is random. But nonetheless, New England might be thrown into a pot with New York Red Bulls. Should New York City advance tomorrow, them two, and the other team, pretty sure one more team is going to be given here. I don't know where they play, but we could probably have one more team, probably USL. So it could be Louisville City, who also beat Detroit City tonight on penalties. They could be in there too. So we are not guaranteed any of the derbies, which sucks, but it is what it is. But hey, New York Red Bulls, congratulations if you're a fan watching this. You've beaten DC United. You're going on to the round of 16. Your name is in the draw, and we'll see who you face on Thursday. I believe the draw is at the same time, noon. I got to double check, but for sure the draw is on Thursday. But New York Red Bulls do advance over DC United in the Atlantic Cup. Now on to our lone interleague matchup of the night and of this round so far. Of course, more will probably come tomorrow with Charlotte and Richmond, as well as California United and LA Galaxy, along with others. But we have Inter Miami beating Tormenta 3-1. South Georgia Tormenta really put up a good fight. It was a good effort from South Georgia Tormenta. They did get one late. It was a consolation goal, but this one was really deserved. I mean, Tormenta in the first half was all over Inter Miami. Let's just say it that way. Inter Miami did get that late goal right with the halftime. Lassiter had 2 goals in this one, 45th and 83rd minute. And then Robbie Robinson had the other goal in the 47th minute. He also got a red card too because there was a little scruffle, little wrestling match between Robinson of Inter Miami and Dangler of Tormenta. So both those guys got ejected, but Sterling did get that one lone goal at the last second or late game for Tormenta. And Inter Miami, I mean, as I said, winning this one really boosting their confidence, hopefully, for their season as they continue their deep run into the U.S. Open Cup, as well as keeping their hopes alive for the Florida Derby that I really, really want. So, but as I said many times, we're not guaranteed. We just got to see how that all shakes out. But nonetheless, we do know Inter Miami is advancing to the round of 16. We'll see who they will draw this Thursday. So, Lassiter really taking over. Lassiter had a big game, good game for Inter Miami. Fans that came up and support Inter Miami, they're electric. And Tormenta, once again, great fight, but unfortunately it's not enough. And so yeah, so far, Inter Miami avoided the upset here, despite being outshot 14-7. But as I said, pretty much, Inter Miami just scored 3 goals. Until Tormenta scored 1 in the last second, so it was on pace to be 3-0. But Tormenta did get a consolation goal to ruin the shutout, and to get that 1 goal, they did deserve all game, as I said. So kudos to them. Maybe next time, South Georgia Tormenta, but nonetheless, Inter Miami did put up a great fight, or Tormenta put up a good fight too. Inter Miami just a little too strong tonight, but kudos to them. You just got to tip your hat to them as. Some teams are just have the better night. So with that, we'll see who Inter Miami plays. Fingers and toes crossed. It's Orlando for that Florida Derby, but it could very well be Charlotte, Atlanta, anybody. So we just got to keep our eyes on the draw here. And so the next one we have. How about this one? This one was arguably right now the comeback of the tournament, as it's Sporting KC. Winning 4-2 over SC Dallas, but keep in mind before this, SC Dallas was winning 2-0 over Sporting KC. I forgot. I'm saying his name wrong, but Moyoma, he scores an outside the box shot and it goes right perfectly into the corner, and that put up Dallas 2-0. And Hara scored the early goal, but how about this? Sporting KC came storming back 4-0, 4 goals unanswered. They did it 2-2 in the extra time, and then score another 2, with one of them own goal by Carrillo in the 94th minute. But Kyrie Shelton in the 113th minute, really sealing the deal for Sporting KC, despite them saying that it would be all over. This one was a big, big game, and really was enjoyable to watch. You think FC Dallas is moving on to the next round? Sporting KC says not so fast, especially that late goal stoppage time tire by, once again, I'm saying his name wrong. I got to say this right. Was it Cizonis? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but he scores it for Sporting KC in the last goal, and yeah, I did see that Vajomic game. I'm saying these names wrong, guys. Sorry, but I believe it's Vajomic. Sorry if I'm trying to say this right, but he scored. I did see that goal. That got everything going for Sporting KC. And as I said, once that got going, it became a snowball effect. Sporting KC found their way. FC Dallas failed to see the game out and ultimately lost in the competition. And I know many FC Dallas fans are going to be really disappointed with how this night ended, but Sporting KC just never quit, and they just kept fighting. And you can see that too in the little snippet here. 23 shots to 12. Sporting KC had their way with FC Dallas as well as shots. But, hey, Sporting KC showing why they are a dangerous and difficult team to play and beat. 2 late goals in extra time really squeaked out the win, and now Sporting KC is going on to the round of 16. And for me, in terms of derby, now this means that we can no longer have a Texas derby. I mean, there is Houston and San Antonio left, which they're playing tomorrow. But in terms of the traditional Texas derby, FC Dallas and Houston would no longer be an option. But in terms of Sporting KC, I guess your rivalry, should Colorado win over Minnesota, is Colorado. So maybe that rivalry's still alive. But, I mean, hey, we'll have to see. Even then, as I said, you're not guaranteed who you can get. For all we know, Sporting KC can get Louisville. They can get a USL opponent. So, then again, not even easy. So you're not even guaranteed win. As they've shown that they can put up a fight. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But for FC Dallas and for myself, that means no Texas derby, no El Capitan. Unfortunately this time, but maybe in going back in MLS play, we'll be guaranteed a matchup come Heineken Rivalry Week. But for them, we just got to find out and wait. But nonetheless, Sporting KC rightfully grinded their way back and earned the result for FC Dallas. Then we go to our final match of the night. LAFC smooth sailing over Portland Timbers. LAFC played miraculously tonight. Arango scored the first goal in the 32nd minute, and Fall scored the 54th minute goal. I watched this one. This was the lone goal of the night, or lone game of the night, I should say, for the West Coast. And smooth sailing. And for me, either of these teams, honestly, for rivalries, Portland winning, I mean, it would have been good because Seattle, keep in mind, are in another conference with San Jose and other teams. So I believe even then we wouldn't be guaranteed, as they have Arizona in there too. So even then you would have to wait and see Portland draw Seattle in the draw. But I mean, that's not going to happen either way, because most importantly, El Tráfico is still alive. So although the Cascadian rivalry for Portland and Seattle was off the board for the tournament, I mean, arguably you still have the most tastiest, or arguably the more tastier rivalry alive, as well as in the league, between LAFC and LA Galaxy. Once again, should LA Galaxy beat California United tomorrow, and should they draw against each other in the draw. But once again, we're not guaranteed them, as sucky as it sounds, but that's just the format of the tournament. I hope that there's a rivalry between LAFC and LA Galaxy. That'll make me so happy to see these two teams clash together in the US Open Cup. But we just gotta wait and see. But LAFC, really, really good performance. And quick history between these teams. LAFC Portland played again in 2018. LAFC got the best of Portland, 3-2. Advanced in the quarterfinals, I believe. And then we go to 2019. Portland getting the best of LAFC. Also, all games so far have been played at Bank of California Stadium. Portland getting that one, I believe, 1-0 victory over LAFC before getting bounced by Minnesota United in 2019 in the semifinals. And then now we jump all the way across the COVID break into 2022. LAFC once again hosting for the third straight time against Portland and getting a 2-0 win. So both teams trading blows so far. LAFC has the best of the series in Open Cup 2-1, but once again they win it and they're home and keep El Tráfico hopes alive. And yeah, I mean, in terms of MLS action so far in the US Open Cup, that does it for half one, or the first half of your 6 games, or 5 games I should say, for your round of 32 MLS team review. And we'll have tomorrow 10 games. 8 of those MLS teams are involved in, and we'll see how they do. Will there be cup sets between LA Galaxy, LA United? So yeah, LA Galaxy, can they be upset? Charlotte could be upset by Richmond. Who else is playing? We have NYCFC in Rochester. You have other teams too, but San Antonio and Houston, a little Texas derby, could they be upset too? So we just gotta wait and see. But that pretty much does it for day 1. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 2. But if you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Also remember to hit the bell notification. That way you know when a video or any video for that matter, is uploaded or posted. And tell all your friends. The first half of the round of 32 U.S. Open Cup teams MLS are in the books.